Shanti Shakti Namaha. Shanti Shakti Namaha.
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 Om Namah Shivaya. 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 the song that goes something like, I once was blind, but now I see. That's Amazing Grace.
Yes.
Right? And when I used to sing it in churches, I thought of who's the fellow that wrote it, who was the former slave trader?
I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Pretty well known fellow, I can't remember his name. And as far as we know, he was referring to the moment when he underwent a conversion, and he began to see things differently. Like, it's not okay to have slaves. It's not okay to brutalize other human beings. And I almost had his name. Anyway, so I was thinking about that and what it means to see and what it means to be blind. And one of the ways I think we can be blind is to see something the same way all the time, forever. Right? In other words, we don't see it any differently. No matter how old we become or what our experiences are, we have set ideas. Right? We see things a certain way. And that's it. We don't see it any differently. To me, the more I think about it, that's how I can be blind. Even though I'm seeing something a certain way, and especially if I'm seeing something exactly the same way and not varying the way I'm seeing it over time. We're stuck. We're blind. So I thought tonight we would take a look at the same scriptures that we looked at last night, but this time ask ourselves, how might we see them in a different way? Okay. One of the things that the early desert dwellers in the 4th century spent a lot of time doing was immersing themselves in scriptures, immersing themselves in the stories of Jesus and the Gospels. And they would begin to see differently. Having read it once, they might see it this way, and maybe reading it twice, they might begin to see something else. And on it goes in their whole lives. They were seeing things in new ways, which to me is very exciting, and keeps that relationship with God alive. So let's do what we did last night, and we'll read the same 4 bits, but this time ask the Spirit, how can I see this differently? Keep in mind perhaps how we saw it last night individually, but now how might we hear it, see it differently? What's the new thing? And particularly the desert dwellers, I refer to them as desert dwellers. I'm not sure that they would like that. It's kind of limiting, but you know what I mean. These folk who retreated from the craziness of the world and sought to live in a very different way. These individuals began to see in a way they hadn't seen before. And what that means for them is they would meditate on scriptures, and the real importance of that was, am I being transformed by this? How is this changing me? How is this transforming me? Because if it isn't, well, might as well read the phone book, And wait a minute, we don't have phone books anymore, do we? That's right. Sorry, outdated reference. There's
Might as well read a newspaper.
a newspaper. Just read the newspaper. Don't worry about anything. Just read the newspaper.
Do they make them anymore?
I don't know. Newspapers, that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally good. You could have the New York Times delivered here. So you see what I'm getting at? To read sacred scripture and simply find interesting things about it misses the point altogether. The real point of it is, how is this transforming me? How might it transform me to be more and more like Christ? That's what they did, and that's what they will be asking us to do today. So, okay, we'll start. So this is from Luke chapter 6, the first bit. One Sabbath, Jesus was walking through the grain fields with his students, and they began to pick heads of grain, rubbing them with their hands and eating them, because they were hungry. Some of the Pharisees asked, "Why are you doing what is prohibited on the Sabbath?" And Jesus said, "Haven't you read what David did when he and his troops were hungry? How he entered the house of God and took the consecrated bread and ate it, and gave the rest to the others, loaves which only the priests were allowed to eat." And then Jesus said to them, "For I am Lord of the Sabbath."
On a different Sabbath, Jesus came to teach in a synagogue where there was a person with a withered right hand. The religious scholars and Pharisees were looking for a reason to accuse Jesus, so they watched him closely to see if he would heal on the Sabbath. But Jesus knew their thoughts and said to the person with the withered hand, "Get up and stand here in front." So the afflicted one got up and stood in front of everyone. Jesus said to the others, "I ask you, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or evil, to preserve life or destroy it?" He looked around at them all, then said to the one with the infirmity, "Stretch out your hand." The other did so, and the hand was perfectly restored. At this, they were furious and began to discuss with one another what they could do to Jesus.
It was about this time that Jesus went out to the mountains to pray, spending the night in communion with God. At daybreak, he summoned the disciples and picked out 12 of them, whom he named as apostles: Simon, to whom he gave the name Peter, and his brother Andrew, James and John, Philip and Bartholomew, Matthew and Thomas, James ben Alphaeus, and Simon, who was called the Zealot, Judas ben James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor.
Coming down the mountain with them, Jesus stopped in a level area where there were a great number of disciples. A large crowd of people was with them from Jerusalem and all over Judea, to as far as north as the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon. People who had come to hear and be healed of their diseases, and even to be freed from unclean spirits. Indeed, the whole crowd was trying to touch Jesus, because power was coming out of him and healing them all.
Thank you. So this is the kind of reading, for lack of a better word, hearing, reflecting, that can be transformative if we allow it to be. One of the questions that I'm beginning to ask myself as I'm hearing these stories is, how am I like the Pharisees? What do I need to let go of? What fixed ideas, what blindness might I be suffering from? How can I be transformed? These are the kinds of questions I think are most valuable when we read the Gospels, and yet they're not often asked. So just to keep in mind as we go through the Gospel stories, there's different layers of reading the Gospels. You know, sometimes it's just fun to, you know, point out different interesting historical facts and compare this with that and the other. And it's like shopping in the supermarket, you know. Oh, look at that, there's some nice grapefruit over there. Oh, I like those even better. And that's cool. That has value. And then there's other layers where we can point out socially, you know, what the text might mean then and today, but it's still keeping it out here, in a sense. What I think the Spirit is asking us to go deeper. And, you know, there's a lovely sentence in the book of Revelation where it says, hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. Right? You know, we can make that individual as well. Hear what the Spirit is saying to me. And what's interesting is that in the book of Revelation, very often, you know, the Spirit is saying to a particular church, you know, really like how you're doing that. That's cool. And then, but this over here is not helpful. Right? So work on that. And it's a very balanced kind of approach in the book of Revelation when it comes to the churches and what the Spirit is saying to the churches. So I think when we read the Gospels, you know, there's the interesting level, there's the social level, and then there's a personal level, which is really, really good. And yeah, it's very helpful. So, many thoughts on that?
It actually did a thing for me. It started last night when we read it, but it just kind of whacked me that I was listening to it like the Pharisees, and here's this guy, like you put it, kind of almost arrogant sounding. And all at once it just kind of melted, and it's like, no, he wasn't coming from an ego. That's God speaking.
Mm.
And he knew he was God, and he could speak that way with just pure force and innocence because he knew, or even the he and God kind of mixed together there. But anyway, it just let me see how sometimes when I read the stories, I am looking at the Pharisees like, well, what did he mean by that? As in another person rather than what's God saying there? Something to that effect whacked me.
Do you say whacked you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I felt it when it came through. It's like, oh, I've been doing that. Like, you know, stop it.
thinking it relate more to Simon Peter and some of the other disciples. You know, just wondering what were they thinking when Jesus is doing all this. And they were all trained too to not do what they were doing, taking the grain to eat. Apparently that was work when they mushed it with their hands. And they weren't allowed to do that on the Sabbath. I know I can get stuck in, well, I always did it that way. Or I wasn't allowed to do something.
So just to keep in mind, there are moments when we think we see and we're blind as a bat. And reverse is true too, I think. Sometimes when we believe we're blind as a bat, we're actually seeing something worth seeing. If we're seeing our own blindness, especially, it keeps us humble, keeps us on that path that Jesus calls us, and the early monastics called people. Real humility. So, we close with a song. This melody is used for a couple verses, a couple different songs. So tonight, let's sing this one. Oh, in the dark of night, oh, behold the light of we give you thanks for your great love. May we see more and more, and hear more and more, and open our hearts more and more to your love. May it be so.